Hey there, fans, welcome back to our channel for another update. If you're not subscribed yet, take a second to do it and hit the notification bell to stay up to date with us. Without no further talk, we dive straight in the video. Humanitarian agencies have lost contact with aid workers in Gaza, as the Palestinian enclave faces its third communications blackout of the Israel-Hamas war, according to operators. Telecoms firm Paltel announced a complete interruption of its services in a statement posted on Facebook. It said the interruption was due to the main routes that were previously reconnected being cut off again from the Israeli side. The main UN agency supporting Palestinians in Gaza said it lost contact with the vast majority of its teams in the Strip. The Palestine Red Crescent Society also said it couldn't reach aid workers in the territory. Here are some of the latest major developments. Israel's offensive. The Israeli military said it was carrying out a significant strike on Gaza Sunday evening, after its forces reached the enclave's coast earlier in the day. An IDF spokesperson provided few further details about the strike, beyond saying it was very extensive and targeted Hamas infrastructure both above and underground. A CNN team in Darrow, southern Israel, near the Gaza border, saw a number of explosions and flares in the direction of the enclave on Sunday evening. Earlier, the IDF said its soldiers had reached the coast as part of an effort to encircle Hamas forces and strike targets in Gaza. Blinken trip. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken is expected to meet with Turkish officials Monday to discuss the Israel-Hamas war, his last stop on a whirlwind diplomatic trip to the Middle East. Blinken met with Iraqi Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Sudani for more than an hour in an unannounced visit to Baghdad Sunday, emerging to say the meeting was productive. It came after he visited Israel on Friday and met with key Arab leaders on Saturday in Jordan. He also met with the Palestinian Authority president Sunday in Ramallah, where the two discussed escalating settler violence in the West Bank. U.S. sub. In a rare announcement, the U.S. military said a guided missile submarine has arrived in the Middle East, a message of deterrence clearly directed at regional adversaries as the Biden administration tries to avoid a broader conflict amid the Israel-Hamas war. U.S. Central Command said on social media Sunday that an Ohio-class submarine was entering its area of responsibility. A picture posted with the announcement appeared to show the sub in the Suez Canal northeast of Cairo. Jordan aid. Jordan Air dropped a medical aid package to a Jordanian field hospital in Gaza, King Abdullah II said on social media. "We will always be there for our Palestinian brethren," said the king, who has previously criticized Israel's assault on Gaza and repeatedly called for a ceasefire. Lebanon border. Tensions flared again at the northern Israel border Sunday, with Israel and Lebanon both announcing civilian casualties from the ongoing strikes between the Israel Defense Forces and Iran-backed Hezbollah. On Friday, Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah said the militants would be prepared for all scenarios, and that any escalation by the Israeli army at the border would be a historic folly that would prompt a major response. But he also said Hezbollah's primary goal was to achieve a ceasefire in Gaza. On Sunday, Lebanese Foreign Minister Abdallah Bo Habib told CNN the government is working with Hezbollah and Palestinian groups in Lebanon to prevent a wider war. IDF accuses Hamas. The Israeli military released what it said was evidence of Hamas using civilian infrastructure, including hospitals and children's playgrounds, as shields for its attacks on Israel. Images and video showed what a military spokesperson described as launch pits that Hamas used to fire rockets from the civilian areas. Officials with the Ramallah-based Palestinian Authority and the Hamas-controlled government media office in Gaza rejected the claims. In a rare announcement, the U.S. military said a guided missile submarine has arrived in the Middle East, a message of deterrence clearly directed at regional adversaries as the Biden administration tries to avoid a broader conflict amid the Israel-Hamas war. U.S. Central Command said on social media Sunday that an Ohio-class submarine was entering its area of responsibility. A picture posted with the announcement appeared to show the sub in the Suez Canal northeast of Cairo. The social media post did not name the sub, but the U.S. Navy has 4 Ohio-class guided missile submarines, or SSGNs, which are former ballistic missile subs converted to fire Tomahawk cruise missiles rather than nuclear-tipped ballistic missiles. Each SSGN can carry 154 Tomahawk cruise missiles, 50% more than U.S. guided missile destroyers pack and almost 4 times what the U.S. Navy's newest attack subs are armed with. Each Tomahawk can carry up to a 1,000-pound high-explosive warhead. SSGNs can deliver a lot of firepower very rapidly, said Carl Schuster, a former director of operations at the U.S. Pacific Command's Joint Intelligence Center, told CNN in 2021. 154 Tomahawks accurately deliver a lot of punch. No opponent of the U.S. can ignore the threat. The magnitude of that firepower was shown in March 2011, when the guided missile sub USS Florida fired almost 100 Tomahawks against targets in Libya during Operation Odyssey Dawn. The attack marked the first time the SSGNs were used in combat. The military rarely announces the movements or operations of its fleet of ballistic and guided missile subs. Instead, the nuclear-powered vessels operate in near-complete secrecy. The announcement is a clear message of deterrence directed at Iran and its proxies in the region. The sub joins a number of other U.S. Navy assets already in area, including 2 carrier strike groups and an amphibious ready group. In April, the Navy announced that the USS Florida, one of the 2 East Coast-based SSGNs, was operating in the Middle East. In June, the Navy publicized the visit of one of its 2 West Coast-based SSGNs, USS Michigan, to South Korea as a show of U.S. commitment to its Indo-Pacific allies. The announcement of a guided missile sub in the region comes as U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has been holding a series of meetings with U.S. partners in the Middle East. In a whirlwind trip, Blinken has visited Turkey, Iraq, Israel, the West Bank, Jordan and Cyprus. On Sunday, Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin spoke with his Israeli counterpart, Minister of Defense Yoav Gallant. In addition to emphasizing the need to protect civilians and provide humanitarian assistance to Gaza, Austin said the U.S. was committed to deterring any state or non-state actor seeking to escalate this conflict, a clear reference to Iran and Hezbollah, the Iran-backed armed group. There have been frequent low-level attacks on U.S. forces in Iraq and Syria by Iranian-backed groups, but the U.S. has been aiming to make it clear that wider attacks would provoke a major response. We will do everything and take all necessary measures to protect U.S. forces and our interests overseas. Brig. Again, no one wants to see a widening conflict, and that is our primary goal, but we will also never hesitate to protect our forces. Thank you for watching and sharing. Stay up to date with us for another news video.